What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're here with the pressure rankings for UFC 306 in the Sphere. O'Malley versus Dvalishvili, Riyadh season, fucking 20 million sponsorships. That's what we're here for. We're talking about which fighters need to win the most, which fighters are under the most pressure, and then which fighters aren't under as much pressure. I do this video for every pay-per-view, so if you enjoy this concept, subscribe to the channel. Look, this card doesn't have as many big fights. It helps more when there's more ranked fighters on the card. Gives me more to talk about. There's not that many ranked fighters on this card, not many crazy big names, but it's still going to be a fun card, so I'll probably mix in some other stuff. Talk about my predictions as well for the fights as well, which I already did. But yeah, let's get started with the main event. First off, the champion Sean O'Malley. How much pressure is he under? Quite a bit, I would say. Obviously, anyone in a title fight is under a lot of pressure. You're trying to defend your belt for the second time. A lot of people don't really view the Cheeto fight as a proper defense. That's kind of a Mickey Mouse title defense. There was Merab deserved it more at the time. Sandhagen deserved it more at the time. There were people that deserved it more at the time than Cheeto, who was coming off one win over Pedro Munoz. So he needs to really prove himself against the number one contender, because he beat Aljo. He had a close fight over Peter Yan. But the Aljo finish is his only really good win in the fans' eye, in a lot of the fans' eyes, given that the Yan fight was close. A lot of people call it a robbery, and then the Cheeto fight was a great performance, but not a high-level opposition. So Merab is the guy. Merab is the most deserving contender, and if he can beat him, he really starts to sort of set himself as a potential for the bantamweight GOAT. Obviously, I don't think he would be after this fight, but if he wins this, that's two defenses. If he then wins another one or two fights, I think he will definitely have a good argument for that conversation. If he loses, though, you lose to Merab. Fucking Merab. And then that's tough, because he's been talking some shit. There's been some bad blood. Not really. I don't think these two really hate each other. I think it's pretty artificial, to be honest. But yeah, you don't want to lose to Merab. Also, if you do lose, he's going to get 50-45s and just get ragdolled the whole time, which would be tough, and that would be pretty humiliating. And even though he did lose that fight to Cheeto earlier on in his career, he's kind of established that. I think not many people view Cheeto as a guy, or O'Malley as a guy who's lost a fight. He has lost a fight, but I think if he loses this, it's going to be okay, that's his first real loss. Which is not something you want, because that's kind of what's going for him right now. And it will be, even though he almost certainly will be able to get his way back to a title shot if he loses, because the UFC is going to, Dana White's going to go, what's the question? Yeah, O'Malley, he looked bone dry tonight. We're doing the rematch straight away. It's the fight that people want to see. It's Dana, he had one title. It doesn't matter. He's a long-reigning champion. So that's what we're going to see, I reckon, if he loses. So I don't think O'Malley's under as much pressure as Merab. But I think there's a little bit more, there's also more expectations on him to perform well, because even though he was the underdog for a lot of it, he's now the favorite. More people are betting him. More people are kind of being yeah, you should just KO Merab, who got wobbled by Cejudo, got wobbled by Marlon Moraes. So yeah, Sean O'Malley definitely needs to get the win. Obviously, it's a title fight. It goes without saying, you're under a lot of pressure. But yeah, the expectations are pretty high on this one, and he needs to put on a good performance and close the show well, because even Dana's probably praying that this guy gets a highlight reel KO, so he can really make it seem like the Sphere was worth it. Because if it ends with a 50-45 for Merab and half the fans are leaving 3/4 way through the fight, Dana's going to go to the press conference and be like, I'm going to kill myself. So yeah, O'Malley definitely needs to get the win. But let's talk about Merab Dvalishvili. Fucking Merab Dvalishvili. Merab definitely needs to win, because if this guy loses, he's not getting another title shot ever. It took him a fucking 27 fight win streak to even get to the belt. He was he needs to win this fight if he wants to really establish himself as a guy, because even though he's a guy in this division, everyone views him as a very solid fighter, if he loses to O'Malley, Dana's going to go to press conference. What's the question? Merab? Yeah, we're giving him, we're cutting him from the sport. Fucking go to Brave FC, fight Makayev. That's what we're looking at if fucking Merab loses. He's built some fans, he's built a bit of a social media following, he's got some personality, but you're just never going to be that promotable with a style of just spamming takedowns, and then on the mic you fucking ramble for 5 minutes. They ask you, Merab, what does it mean? What does it mean to fight under Sphere cut? He's and then he just yaps for 5 minutes. This means a lot, this I thought this O'Malley Sphere cut. He just yaps and just can't even speak English properly. So Merab needs to win. Merab also he needs to win because he's not going to get a fucking another title shot ever again. And also if he wins, if he loses, he's going to get KO'd, which is going to be tough, and you're going to be on a highlight reel for the rest of your career. So yeah, Merab Dvalishvili definitely needs to get the win. Because otherwise, yeah, he's kind of cooked, to be honest. It's the same with Leon and Bilal. Like, going into that fight, Bilal needed to win, and he did. So if Merab can get it done, then respect, because he definitely needs to. But let's move on to another fighter, or the co-main event, I should say. Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso definitely is under some pressure. I wouldn't say she's under heaps. I think Valentina is under a bit more pressure than her, if I'm being honest. Because Grasso, she's younger than Valentina. She can probably, if she loses this, I don't think Valentina is sticking around for a lot longer. They might even just fucking run a fourth fight, like, at some point. Or all she would have to do would just be, like, maybe they do Shevchenko versus Fiora, and then if Shevchenko wins that, Grasso probably could just get another title shot, even without fighting it again. So I don't think Grasso's under as much pressure. Obviously, still, you don't want to lose your belt. You're fighting on Mexican Independence Day. You're fighting for your people. So yeah. But Grasso, you know, if she loses, she can just go and get hired as a ring girl, because apparently they're hiring a bunch of new Mexican ring girls for the card, so she can go just join in there. Ring girl her own fight. Do what Mayweather did in that random exhibition fight that he had. Walk around with the card, like the round card, be the ring girl. That's what Grasso can do in the middle of her own fight. No one would complain. But yeah, no, she definitely wants to win. She wants to kind of settle the trilogy, because if she loses, it's 1-1-1. So we see a Figueiredo Moreno type of situation where they might just do a fourth fight. If she wins, it's two wins for her and a draw, so she would definitely close it there and prove herself to be the better fighter than Shevchenko. So she wants to get the win, obviously. She wants to do it in front of her people and have a pretty impressive performance, but I wouldn't say she's under, like, immense pressure. Like, she's not cooked if she loses this, because, like, again, no one really cared about Grasso before she won the belt. Now she automatically, like, has fans. Like, the Grasso feet pics were not going around before she won the belt. People only started caring about it when she won the belt. So she's already got the fan base now. She can lose, it probably won't matter. She'll get another title shot in like a fight or two. So yeah, let's talk about Valentina Shevchenko though. Valentina Shevchenko, look, is she under heaps of pressure? No. At the end of the day, she's already top 5, GOATs of the sport. Of course, I'm joking. You can't put women in the GOAT list. But no, Valentina Shevchenko, she's already established herself as one of the greatest female fighters of all time. Already got like 20 fucking title defenses at flyweight. She's 37. She can either just dip after this. I wouldn't surprise me. That's something I don't think people have really talked about going into this fight, is the possibility of a Valentina retirement if she loses. But I also do kind of think Valentina is a bit too, like, copey. And I think if we saw the cope after the first loss where she was like, oh, it was just a fluke and all that. And then we saw the cope after the draw when she's saying she got robbed. Even though, like, technically, even though that judge should have scored that round 10-9, which would have meant Shevchenko won. But I rewatched that fight and I picked Shevchenko. I thought Grasso kind of won, to be honest. So yeah, she's not completely cooked. Also, possibility she could just move up to bantamweight. Like, if she loses this, there's really no point to her sticking around at 125. Either, I would say, retire, or go up to bantamweight and try and jump the line and get a title shot instead of Kayla Harrison. Or even just get a title shot. And even though you probably wouldn't beat Kayla Harrison, you could still just go up a weight class and get another free title shot, or just dip. She's definitely not going to go down to strawweight. That's not an option. But yeah, Valentina's got some options after this fight. It's not wraps for her. I think people already kind of recognize she's past her best, so it's not like they're expecting her to just show up here and look like a fucking marauder and look like a world beater. She's kind of cooked. She's past her expiration date, if you know what I mean, looks wise and fighting wise. But yeah, Valentina, she's not under too much pressure. I'd say like a 6 out of 10 for the pressure rating. Let's move on then to the next fight. We've got the GOAT of the sport, Diego Lopez, one of my favorite fighters. Look, he's under some pressure, yeah, for sure. There's definitely some expectations. He's got the hype behind him, and if he wins, he's now a top 5. I think he'll be ranked number 3 in the featherweight division if he gets the win here. So that's definitely a big upside. Definitely some pressure on him there. If he loses, he's still a fan favorite, unless he loses like badly and just doesn't have any moments. But if he goes out there, 10-8 Ortega in the first, and then kind of gasses and loses the second and third and loses a decision, or has like a draw. But that's the thing, I actually don't see how he loses unless he gets finished, because I feel like I'm pretty confident he's going to 10-8 Ortega in the first round. We saw Ortega just get battered by Yair. And also, Lopez's defensive grappling and grappling overall is way better than Yair, so I don't think Ortega's going to just sub him in the third like he did with Yair. So I think that's my prediction. I've already picked Lopez. I think you guys know, but I don't think he's under too much pressure. Look, it's definitely not ideal for him if he loses, because that would kind of like, it would show that he's lost to Movzar, he's lost to Ortega. Maybe it's just a bit too early, but also he's like 30, I'm pretty sure. So it would kind of indicate that maybe he's not quite top 5 level. But no, I think Lopez definitely, there's a lot of upside with a win, and I think there's more upside with a win than there is downside with a loss. So I would say there's not as much pressure, but still, he definitely needs to get the win to keep the hype going. But let's talk about Brian Ortega, the Eagle Maxer himself. Well, sometimes the best weight cut is no weight cut. Sometimes the best muscle insertions is no muscle insertions, and that's what the Eagle does, man. You know, I stick a fly up in the mountains, break my beak against a rock, and fly back down. I might lose this fight, you know, but I'm gonna be back, and next time there's a new champion, next time Gene Silver wins the belt, you know, I'll be back to cop that 50-45 whooping, and then I'll get another title shot 2 years later, man. That's the cycle of the Eagle. Brian Ortega, I don't do the impression as well as bedtime, but yeah, Brian Ortega, I would say he kind of does need to get the win. There's still some bad kind of still some negative aura, you could say, around him after the 303 fiasco, where he just kind of fucking missed weight by heaps and just refused to cut and then pulled out of the fight. He's kind of in the bad books with a lot of the fans. He's kind of like not in the good graces of the fan base right now. If he wins, it's great. If he wins, I mean, I don't want him to win because featherweight, like, no one thinks Ortega is gonna fucking beat Ilia Topuria. Like, he's just gonna get his ass beat and probably just not get KO'd because he's got a good chin. But no one thinks he's gonna beat Ilia. There's no upside for the fucking division if Ortega wins. It's just dead. So I'm hoping for a Lopez W. That's what we need. But yeah, Ortega, if he loses, he'll just go up to 55. Just go up to 55 and fucking fight like Beneil Dariush or some shit. Like, I don't know. You got nothing left to prove. You've never been a champion. You're not going to win the belt, buddy. Bro can't grow a single fucking muscle on his body. He's got no biceps. Built like fucking Machine Gun Kelly. Built like Chris Dorcas and Machine Gun Kelly had a baby. But yeah, that's Ortega. Look, I want him to lose, but I respect him. I'm not a massive. I've never been a big Ortega fan, but I respect the memes. The Eagle story was quite funny. So yeah, there's not heaps of pressure on him, I'd say. He's kind of expected to lose odds-wise, and I think a lot of people are like, bro, Lopez is real good, he's up and coming, all that. So yeah, I don't know, Ortega, not too much pressure on him, but let's talk about the next fight. Now we made it past the actual important, like, stakes, like, fights with stakes on the card, so now we're just talking about a bunch of fucking unranked cartel members. Daniel Zellhuber against Ribovic. I think there's some pressure on him, of course. He's the big favorite. He's Mexican. I think a lot of the Mexicans have some added pressure because they do want to perform well on the big stage and get the push and stuff. This is like the stage. Dana's been like, all right, here you go, kids. Fucking go prove to the world that you want to be here. This is what fighting's about. This is what the UFC is about. Like, that's the approach that I think Dana's taking with this card, is like giving a bunch of Mexicans who aren't that big of a name a chance. Like, there's a reason why Moreno and Yair aren't on this card, and instead we got Luis Rodriguez or Ronaldo Rodriguez and fucking Daniel Zellhuber. Like, he's giving these less known Mexicans a chance to like prove themselves, and that's what he's doing with Zellhuber here on the main card. I think he's going to show up well. I think he's going to have a good performance. So yeah, there's a bit of pressure on Daniel Zellhuber. His opponent, Esteban Ribovic, not as much pressure. I mean, he's lost in the UFC already. Zellhuber's lost too, but I think there's a bit more expectations on him as a prospect. Ribovic, he's expected to lose. If he wins, that's really good for him. He kind of spoils the party. But yeah, a lot of these fights aren't really going to have as much pressure on them if they're not involving like top 15 rankings or titles or anything like that. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, this might be one of my new favorite fighters on the roster after that press conference performance. Ronaldo Rodriguez was like literally the only interesting thing that happened at the press conference. Some of the, the Mexican ladies were looking quite nice on stage. Even Ketlin Souza, who's fucking clapped, made herself look attractive. If you go back to the press conference, I don't know why, something about that look she was rocking was doing something for me, but if you look at any other photo of her, she's fucking ugly. Even Yasmin Jauregui is not the most attractive woman, and she was looking pretty fine up there as well. So, but sidetrack, that was the only other good thing to happen at the press conference, as well as Dana just refusing to pay the Mexicans bonuses. They're like, nah, kid, you're getting fucking 10 for 10. Deal with it. Like, that's what Dana was doing. But yeah, Ronaldo Rodriguez made an absolute fucking star of himself at the press conference. This dude's on the main card for a reason. We kind of get it now. He's got like 600k Instagram followers. He's gonna talk shit. He's big in Mexico. A lot of the Mexicans like him. And yeah, he was apparently just screaming slurs at Ode Osborne. He was just calling him a fag, and that's quite amusing to me. Obviously, I didn't speak Spanish. I've been told by many people that have reached out to me on Instagram. They've messaged me and being like, bro, you don't understand. It was so much funnier if you actually understand Spanish. Because obviously, like, to translate, it can be translated, but it's more funny. Like, and Spanish, like, the slurs and shit and the insults that they use in Spanish, like, are funny. I think he said, like, puta madre or something like that. Where I think he's, like, calling his mum a whore. Like, you don't say that in English. It just sounds weird. But to say that in Spanish, it makes it so much funnier. So, yeah, Ronaldo Rodriguez definitely made a fan out of me and made a fan out of a lot of other people. And if he gets the win here, that's definitely going to be a really good spotlight for him on the pay-per-view main card and get a lot more followers. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a fucking first-round submission or something. It wouldn't surprise me if this guy ends the night with like an extra 100k Instagram followers, because people are going to see him and people are going to like what he's doing. But Ode Osborne is a bum. No one cares about him. No real pressure. I mean, he could get cut, honestly, if he loses. He's on a 3-fight loss streak. But he's probably going to get subbed, so who cares about Ode Osborne, bro? Named himself the Jamaican sensation. Like, you've never sensationed anyone. Let's move on, though, to the prelims. We got Norma Dumont here. Not much pressure on Norma Dumont. There's a lot of pressure on the zipper of my pants, but no pressure on Norma Dumont, really. She's going to be appreciated by the fans regardless. She's always going to have a place in our hearts and in our... I don't know. Norma Dumont, though, she's fine. She's been looking good recently. And yeah, that's all I gotta say for this fight. No, but I don't know. She's got an opponent. She's got an opportunity to beat a top 5 opponent, which would probably put her like a win away from a title shot, to be fair. I'm not convinced Norma Dumont's very good at fighting. She's good at a lot of other stuff. I don't know. Norma Dumont, yeah, just keep it caked up, and you got a place in all of the fans' hearts. So yeah, but Irene Aldana, I'd say again, a little bit more pressure on her, being the Mexican, being the one that needs to perform for the home crowd or whatever. Not even home crowd, the fights in America. But yeah, she's expected to win, I would say. I think it would be a bad look. It would be a bad look for her if she just lost. It's not out of the realm of possibility, because she was kind of losing to Macy Chiasson. But Norma Dumont is just takedowns and then lays there and then lets the cameraman do the rest, which I appreciate. And again, Norma Dumont, if she loses, just go be a ring girl. That's what we need, and you'll do great at that job. But yeah, let's move on though to the next fight. Manuel El Loco Torres. I would say there is a little bit of pressure on him. Not much. Again, all these kind of prelim fights. This is just a banger. Him with Bahamondes is one of the low-key bangers of the card. I think Zalhuba Ribovic is like the low-key banger. But I think more people are saying how that is the low-key banger. I think not many people are talking about how fucking sick Torres versus Bahamondes is going to be. That's a fucking sick fight. But yeah, Torres, I mean, he's on a bit of a win streak. He's literally won like all of his fights by first round finish. Hopefully he can go out there, beat Bahamondes. I'll get my pick right. But yeah, I'd say there's a bit of pressure on Torres, again, as the Mexican. Bahamondes, similar. He's lost more though, so there's not quite as much expectation. Like, this guy's just had some stinky performances. If he shows up well, he probably will just school Torres on the feet and look way better. But if he shows up like the Bahamondes that fucking lost to John McDessie, then expect a pretty easy win for Torres. So yeah, let's move on though to the next fight. Yasmin Jauregui. See, here she looks mid as fuck, but I'm telling you, at the press conference, bro, she was looking fine. Crazy what makeup can do. But Yasmin Jauregui, she's the prospect. She does have a loss, obviously. She lost to Denise Gomez, and maybe she loses to another lesbian-looking Brazilian. And that's just her kryptonite, I guess, because I'm pretty sure she's straight. So that's automatically going to set you back in women's MMA. But Jauregui, she's a big favourite, so there is a bit of pressure on her to get the win. If she loses here, it kind of firmly disestablishes her as a prospect. But yeah, I don't know, pressure. Ketlin Souza, it's crazy because I saw her at the press conference and I'm like, I swear she's not normally like looks decently attractive. Like, she normally looks clapped, and I had to confirm my suspicions, and unfortunately, yes, she does normally look clapped. But yeah, I swear to God, press conference where she had the glasses on, had the cap, you couldn't really see the weird hairline and stuff. Like, she's not bad looking if she does it right. Had the makeup on, but again, makeup, bro, it's the fucking biggest confuser of looks, I guess. The biggest, what's the word? Fucking, I don't know. I forgot how to speak English. But no, Ketlen Souza, she's going to lose probably. If she wins, good for her. I don't know, she's lost before in the UFC, no pressure on her. But let's move on to the next fight. Boy, Josh Van, this is my guy, bro. I love Josh Van. No Diddy. But, no, Josh Van, I really hope he gets the win. There's a bit of pressure on him, you know, he's still considered a prospect, and he is coming off a loss to Charles Johnson, which is not a great look. If he loses to Shiraz, that's going to be really tough for him. He's going to need a rebound in a big way. But there's an opportunity for him to, like, kind of put that loss in the past. But yeah, I don't know, he's stepping in on short notice, which is why I'm worried for him, and then Shiraz is just weirdly annoying, and he could get him. So I hope Van wins. I'm worried for him. I'm picking him to win, because he is a better striker than Shiraz. But yeah, a bit of pressure on Josh Van to just kind of rebound from the loss. Edgar Shiraz, you know, the cartel has some pressure on him. If you see this guy at Wayne's where he's chucking up his gang signs or something, I don't know, but yeah, the cartel needs the W. They've got some money on him this weekend. So yeah, I'd say Shiraz got a bit of pressure on him. But let's talk about the first fight of the card. Raul Rosas Jr. There's some pressure on him, obviously. You can't, at this stage of his career, you can't really lose again. Like, he took the loss to C-Rod. That wasn't disastrous. We all kind of recognized, yeah, he's young. He's going to lose. It's all right. He'll be fine. But if he loses again to Aori Trolang, that's going to be rough. But yeah, Chiwiwis needs to get the W. He's already got like a big fan base in the sport. People like him. He's got the Chiwiwis thing going for him as well. So if he loses, it's not disastrous, but it's also pretty bad. Aori Trolang is just there as a fighter to lose to Raul Rosas Jr. But again, Raul Rosas Jr. should not be a fucking negative minus fucking 7 million favorite. Like, there's a good chance he's just not that good, because he's only beaten fucking Jay Perrin, Ricky Tercios, and Terrence Mitchell. So hopefully he gets the win. I think he should, but yeah, still. But yeah, Ayo Chalang, no one cares. But that's the video done, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Those are the pressure rankings for UFC 306. I didn't really rank anyone. I didn't even give them a number, but like, yeah, the main event, co-main event, more pressure. Ortega Lopez, more pressure. It kind of goes less pressure down the card. Raul Rosas, I'd say a little bit more than some of the other ones. But yeah, that's what it's just a yap video, because I don't have any video ideas. I don't want to do a video before the card. But yeah, I've done this in the past. People seem to like it. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys for the card tomorrow, or maybe I don't know if I'm doing a fight companion. I'll see. But yeah, peace out, guys. Bye.